Tour junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the 2025 U.S. Open betting preview for Oakmont. I am DB. Pat Perry is not with us this week. That is right. He has skipped out on one of the biggest weeks of the year. That's okay, because as we do every week, we got our buddy Matt Every. Matt, it's me and you riding solo tonight, or I guess not solo. We're a duo tonight, not a trio, since Pat is in Denver. He just sent me a picture. He's having a wine flight right now, which is just very sad to do that.
What's going on out in Denver? Is he's got
a little soiree with a lady friend. They're going to see Coldplay.
Pat, you dirty dog.
He's just, every day's a holiday, every meal's a banquet when you're Pat Perry. You come right off the member guest, you fly straight to Denver. He's
got a magnetic personality.
Yeah. More on that to come later on in the podcast. I will give you a quick rundown of our member guest experience at the end of the show, because I don't want to get into it in the beginning, because then people will be pissed off, because it's a major week and it's a big deal, right? Real quick, did you see anything of the RBC Canadian Open? You had the pillow fight of a playoff between Ryan Fox and Sam Burns. Nobody wanted to make a birdie until Foxy finally got it done. And apparently there was some controversy. I wasn't able to see it. I was busy, and then, didn't want to get, busy all weekend with the member guests. I didn't want to come home and be glued to my TV. But apparently controversy on changing the hole location, which I don't think I've ever seen that done.
Yeah. What?
Have you seen that before?
No. I kind of. That must be a Canadian thing. Who knows? That tournament lacked a lot of punch this year. It's too bad. I think a lot of it was the golf course. I didn't watch a ton of it, but, and there's when certain names pop up on leaderboards that don't normally pop, I immediately just throw that course in the shitter. And that happened the first round, or one of the first two rounds. So I say we move along to Oakmont.
I got nothing. I do like Ryan Fox, though.
I do too.
I'm a Ryan Fox fan. Yes. Plays fast. Is there anybody that's faster than him?
Probably not anymore. I mean, he's pretty fast. Some of these young guys are fast, though. Ludwig's pretty fast.
Yeah, I like that. Fox.
But you're right, man. He is pretty quick.
All right, let's get into
your boy Brant is fast.
Sneds, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Signature Sneds, you mean? That's what we call it.
Sneds.
We're going to get into the weather outlook, talk about that in a second. We are presented to you by our friends at SoBet, of course, the best gambling content site application you can download on your phone is there at SoBet. They're running contests now just about every week. They got a big one this week, 7-day contest, $7,000 prize pool. So if you want to fancy yourself a handicapper, I think there's some hockey involved. I think there's some NBA playoffs involved. And there's golf involved. The U.S. Open is in the contest this week. So you can compete against some of their handicappers for some actual cash money at SoBet. And, of course, you can get exclusive bets and handicapper intel every single day on every sport imaginable, including exclusive picks from us every week. On the SoBet app, you can try it for just $1 for the first month. If you click the link in the description, you use that code that pre-fills TJ2025, they'll hook you up. Thanks to our friends at SoBet, of course. 2016. I want to look back at 2016, Matt.
Okay.
That's your name. You weren't on there. I was a little surprised to see that.
Yeah, somebody talked to me about that today. I must have just barely missed getting into that. Sorry, I'm doing my picks right now. I must have just barely missed.
You mean show prep live during the show? That's all. That's awesome. That's what Pat does. This feels like I'm here with Pat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I expected to see.
If you saw the things I did to make this happen today, you'd be proud of me right now. Yeah, I must have just missed it with world ranking or something like that. But I do remember 2016, Dustin winning that tournament. Shane Lowry was a big part of that golf tournament. Do you remember that?
I do. You know what? I actually remember more than anything, aside from the rules controversy. But for some dumb reason, Scott Piercy stood out to me.
Really?
I remember Scott Piercy being in that thing towards the end. And he finished T2 right there with Lowry and Furyk.
I remember that now. Isn't there on the back nine, there's a short par 3, and he kind of messed up late on Sunday there,
gosh,
maybe.
That's really going deep. Let's see.
He did.
Deep. You're right. Number 16. I'm looking around 4. Number 16, he made bogey. He made 3 birdies and 2 bogeys on the day.
Dude, that guy had some gas. He serious offense, Scott Piercy.
I tell you what, Shane Lowry, if you think that what Shane Lowry does now is like new, it's not. God dang, the guy shot 6 over on the final round in 2016. We had 1 birdie, a bunch of bogeys. He was clearly in control that day going into Sunday and shot 6 over, which is exactly what he did, kind of what he did at the RBC Canadian is what he does a lot. I don't know why Shane, if he goes to live, if they poach him in December, he could do some real damage on 54 holes.
Oh, stop it. I was going to say he's not going there. You're just
he's not
funny.
He's not going there, but he could. Anybody else? Anything else you remember from Oakmont? I guess just the ruling was the thing that stood up.
Not really. Just just how brutal the golf course was. I mean, I feel like Oakmont, the story is usually the golf course.
Really cool golf course. I mean, I don't know. A buddy of mine was like, "Hey, we can go to Oakmont next year if you want to play it." And I was like, I don't know. If
why not?
It just seems like you're just paying to get your dick kicked in.
So
when you're a bad player like me, when you know.
Yeah, I've never played Oakmont, but I've played a lot of the nicer, like, nicer clubs in the US that are tough, like prestigious courses, like Butler National. I'll never forget the first time I played there, and I have a feeling this is the same at Oakmont, like for the membership. Like after I got done playing Butler for the first time, it was a really nice day. Probably was blowing 10 miles an hour, like 75 degrees. I played some solid golf from the back tees and shot 4 over, and it was like, how is this enjoyable for the members every day? Just getting your dick stomped in every single day.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do it. I'll probably do it.
You should definitely do it for a day. You got to sign up for that.
Yeah,
just to see what you would shoot, man. Hole everything out and post a real number.
Well, I'm not gonna play from the tips. So
what? Just actually, will they let you play from the tips?
Doubt.
Like if you're a regular guy, like not a regular guy, but like a 5 handicap, and you show up to a course like that, can you say, hey, I want to play the tips today, and they'll just let you?
I think at a certain number, they should let you.
Yeah,
I don't know what that
I
number
do too,
but I think they should let you. But
especially
also
if it's like the only time you're going to get a look at it, like I definitely think, and you want to, like, fire away.
And so also goes without saying, if you're above that number, you should not be allowed. Like they shouldn't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
One quick observation on the top 10, because I want to transition into the conditions or the conditties and the weather, because like yesterday I was casually scrolling Twitter. I saw some people talking about how how this year, oh crap, is going to be soft. That's terrible. And they were wishing it was like 2016, and your buddy Billy Ho chimed in and said, actually, check the tape. 2016 wasn't very firm and fast either. We didn't have a fiery Oakmont then.
Was he right?
I think he was right. But they've already gotten some rain. They got rain last week, over the weekend, I think, too, or last week. We had boots on the ground reporting from our folks at Bet the Number that the golf course is soft from lots of rain, and there is a little bit forecasted for the rest of the week. And they think that, while there is carnage to be expected, it might not be as bad as it could, as maybe people wanted to be or whatever. So more to come in our Discord. We'll obviously drop all the boots on the ground information from our friends at Bet the Number in the Discord by Wednesday. And by the way, I need to say, I am running the chat Wednesday.
All right.
Pat's out of town, of course. And so, you're getting me, and I'm sure for the first few minutes, everybody's going to give me grief for not being in there often, but this is how it is. So I'll take it. But I'm running things on Wednesday night. Should be a good time. And I'll deliver all the intel I can possibly deliver. So, but we're hearing that it's soft. We're seeing videos around the conditions. But if Billy Ho was right, and 2016 was kind of soft, which I would love for you to check with your boy Billy Ho and maybe we'll get some more details.
Okay.
Because if I think, okay, a softer Oakmont, man, this thing's going to be littered with bombers. But you got Jim Furyk at T2.
Mm-hmm.
You got DJ, obviously won. Lowry, Piercy, Garcia all moved it. Okay. But then the rounding out of the top 10 is basically a bunch of dinkers outside of Jason Day. You had Brandon Grace, Kevin Na, Jason Duffner, Zach Johnson, and Daniel Summerhays. Shout out Daniel Summerhays. He was a DraftKings DFS legend for us early in the 2015, 2016 years. But am I right? Like, isn't that kind of interesting? Like
Yeah, I actually talked to Billy today. We had him on the show, and he was previewing Oakmont for us, and he mentioned that you don't necessarily, and we had Neil Shipley on today, and Neil's a member there, and he mentioned that even though it's soft, you don't necessarily have to be a bomber to play well here. He does like a good driver of the golf ball, and obviously length helps, but like it's a totally different golf course from the fairway than from the rough. One other thing, DB, let's be careful falling into these, because the media's got to talk about something for 3 days. So like whatever it is, I mean, do you not remember like crowning or Rory at PGA? It felt like, everyone was all over him, and then it just, nothing is a sure thing.
Yeah, I get it. I still lean Oakmont is very bomber friendly. Just looking at it and looking at the scorecard, looking at the layout, looking at the that rough, and
Dustin and Hell. I mean, it's Shane. I mean, it's a guy that delivers a heavy blow to the back of the ball. If he has the stuff this week, I like a guy like that.
Yeah, and with the rough, I mean, they show the videos today. The rough got cut. It's like it is like the story for before U.S. Open is typically the surfaces, right? But all as we talk about the golf course too, like one of the things the BTN guys said today is, man, these greens are slopey, slopey, really tricky. Part of that expansion they did last year, or the kind of the renovation they did last year, is a minor renovation, but I think it was one of the bigger things they did was kind of take the greens back to their original size, make them a little larger, adding some space for some of these pin positions, getting them back to kind of the original size and shape. And heard from folks that were there today saying that they're gonna have some very interesting pin locations at this place. Ben On was on X today talking about how there were just parts that he chipped around and putted around today that there was literally nowhere he could go outside of a 1 foot circle. If he landed the ball anywhere outside of that, he was screwed. You're chipping again. So, my official prediction is, I think it's going to be under par wins. I think it's going to be barely under par, but I think it's going to be under par. I think distance is going to matter a lot, and I think short game is going to matter a lot. I think getting up and down, scrambling, grinding, the mindset thing, and I think a little creativity doesn't hurt either. When I look at Oakmont, all the slopes, all the twists and turns, and places you can find yourself, I think a little creativity wouldn't hurt.
Well, I mean, putting, whenever par becomes important, putting usually becomes more important. Those like 8 to 10 footers. So I'm with you. I'm with you there on the short game stuff. Neil said something funny today. He was, Alex asked him, what's the key to putting good at Oakmont? And he said, hitting it closer to the hole. But he said, you just have to stay below the hole there, and just kind of echo what you said. And I know that's not, breaking news to anyone that's listening to this. It's just a brutal golf course. I'm with you. I think the rain, you can't make these courses long enough if they're soft.
Yeah.
If guys have their stuff, they're going to get it. I do think we'll get an under par winner, but not a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of really difficult golf courses, the Americans and the Euros will be heading to one in September, and we would love if you people would come with us to Bethpage for the Ryder Cup. The Tour Junkies and Elite Events are partnering for the Ultimate Ryder Cup Golf Getaway, and we've got some new details here. I'll share with you in a second, but you've got 3-night packages, 4-night packages. We're going to have an amazing trip there in Manhattan, and driving up to Bethpage. It includes, all these packages include a Yankees game. We're going to play some golf at a nice Muni there in Manhattan, including some food that day. We're going to go to the Ryder Cup on Saturday, go to the Ryder Cup on Sunday. We got a Georgia-Alabama football game Saturday night that we'll be attending at a private spot. all of it is included in these prices. You've got transportation as well included to and from hotels with the Yankees game, Ryder Cup. So you don't have to worry about parking and transportation, getting in shuttles and all that crap for Bethpage. It's going to be an awesome trip. We've done a trip with Elite Events before to the 2016 Ryder Cup at Hazeltine. They were fantastic. Great people, great service. And all you got to do is click the link in the description. There's a form you fill out that I'm showing here on the screen. But then, look, they're upping the stakes because we're getting closer to it. We want people to start registering so we can start firming things up. We hope to have a decent amount of folks for this golf event in Manhattan so we can kind of figure out what kind of game we're doing here, how we splitting up the teams, maybe a little DB versus Pat situation at that golf course. So we want to start getting numbers rolling in. So as an extra incentive, our friends at Elite Events are throwing in DraftKings gift cards. So if you fill out a form and you buy a package, depending on the package level that you buy, they're giving away $100, $300, $500 DraftKings gift cards if you just if you decide you want to go. So as added incentive, you've got it right there. Click the link in the description. If you see the packages and you go, man, I can make part of that work, but I can't make all of it work, it's okay. Fill out the form. It doesn't commit you to anything. The folks at Elite Events will reach out, and they'll work out something that works for your schedule and your budget, whatever you want to do. We just want as many folks as possible to be a part of it. Hang out with me and Pat the whole time. Hopefully Matt's up there. You're up there, right? We said that already?
I don't know if I am. Right now, I don't think I've got anything, but I'll come.
You'll be there.
Yeah.
Our friends at Bet the Number, I think, are going to be there. They've done some analytics for Ryder Cup teams in the past. So we're really hoping to have a great crew there and cheer on the boys at Bethpage, which is going to be one of the if not the rowdiest spot you could host a Ryder Cup on U.S. soil. And I think our boys are going to need it. I think we're going to need all the help we can get on paper, unless some things change here, which can happen quickly over the summer months. But anyway, we got to get our people there. Also, I forgot to mention this. We're still running this contest that if you fill out the form at all, we're going to enter you to win a year subscription to Bet the Number. And that ends after this week. So I'm going to announce the winner of that on next week's show. So if you fill out the form and just have a conversation with our friends at Elite Events about trying to put something together, we'll enter you into a drawing. You get a free year at Bet the Number, which is a pretty sweet deal. So that's like a $200-some value. All right. Anything else on the golf course? We ready to move on to the season-long bet, talk about some outrights and some top 20s?
Yeah, let's do it.
So last week in the pillow fight that was the RBC Canadian Open, you and Pat actually earned the most money out of the four at a whopping $204,000, basically.
Yeah, did nothing.
And you were in control with Lowry going in. I had Lowry on the card. I was like, heck yeah. And then he got off to that hot start and then just died. Yeah. And then I will say I checked the leaderboard at one point on Sunday, and I see Cam Young up there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Cam Young might do it. And then I had this vague memory of Pat picking Cam Young. So I go to the season-long bet sheet, and I'm like, oh my God, Pat's gonna have Cam Young. Nope. Carson Young.
Oh, Carson Young. Oh,
Carson
man.
Young and
you had Fisk.
No, I had Mullinax, and I had Rory.
And Rory,
which we'll talk about.
Oh, tough scene. Ooh.
Yeah. So anyway, you made up a tiny bit of ground on.
Right. Who's up first this week?
Tony is up first, and has Tony sent in his picks?
I mean, he's gonna take Scotty.
Yeah, he is.
Right.
Yep. Let's give him Scotty.
All right, we'll give him Scotty
because that's what he's gonna do. I just texted him. If he says something else, that we'll gladly do.
We'll repick.
You can have Scotty. All right, so you're up now.
All right, I'll take
30-1 or shorter is the first, or you can go ahead and pick your.
Yeah, well, right, exactly. I mean, we only got what 8 guys, 30-1 or shorter.
Yeah, not many.
I'm gonna go Xander.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I did not see that coming. Okay. Wow. Okay. Pat has texted in his pick.
That's nice of him.
And I can't believe this is happening. He's taking Rory.
Why?
I just think Bryson is clearly the number 2 guy. I think it's not even close. I think it's
take him.
I'm taking him. I think it's Scotty and Bryson. I think it's like Scotty,
Are you more shocked at my Xander pick or his Rory pick?
Well, I don't know, actually. I think it's because we talked about this last week. We both think there's something
going on there.
Weird going on.
Stay away. Stay away.
I agree. So I don't know. Maybe I'm – but I guess like I felt that last week, but I still took him with my first pick, and that was obviously because he was the head and shoulders most talented guy in the field by a long shot. But, man, that's interesting. All right. Man, I did not think Bryson was falling to me with the 4th pick. This is tremendous news.
All right, who's up? How does this?
So I get to take my second
150, right?
Yeah.
There's some decent names here.
There are some good names.
I got mine.
This is tough.
I got mines.
You got mines.
You been watching the finals?
No, dude. I can't. I can't get into it. I tried.
You can't do that.
College basketball, yes.
Yeah.
NBA. If the Hawks ever decide to be good again, I'd watch that. But they're never going to decide to be good again. You know what? God, no, I don't want to do that. I am going to go with, dude. I'm going to go with a guy who's been on fire, and I guess fire is relative. I'm going with the Piss Bear.
Really?
I'm going with Thorbjorn.
Love it.
Give me Thorbjorn. So that means Pat is back, and he said he would like Adam Scott.
Oh, wow.
So let's see. So that leaves you.
Yes, it does. I'm gonna take me some Cameron Young this week.
I thought about it. The chipping worries me for him. That's the only thing. But I
think it's chipping so fucking hard here out of this rough. I feel like it's an equalizer.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
Does that make sense to you?
Do you kind of feel that way about putting too? Because like when I think
sometimes,
like I think if it's especially if the winning score is not 24 under or whatever, then it helps a guy like Shane Lowry because you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's different ways to get there every week, but
yeah,
I do know what you mean.
Okay, so I got Bryson and Thorbjorn. You have Xander and Cam Young. Let me make sure. Carson's not even in the field. Cam Young, and then Pat has Rory and Adam Scott. Tony has Scotty Scheffler, and we don't know. He's hopping on in a minute, so we'll get that pick. But this is a big week for you, Matt.
I know it is. I'm well aware.
You and Tony, I mean, but this is a really big week for you. Like
took some stones taking Xander there.
It did, and I hope that doesn't. I hope that doesn't bite you.
If Xander, I feel like if he drives it good this week, this is his week.
Oh my God, Tony just put his pick in, and I think this is terrible.
What is it?
This person's terrible.
Did he take Scotty for the first one? Obviously,
he did take Scotty in for the first one, so that makes up for this pick. He took Wyndham Clark, who's
man,
that helps you. I think that helps your case. I mean, you do have to overcome Scotty, and that's tough. But okay. Well, you have first pick next week, so that'll be big. Because we got the Travelers next week. I'm
gonna have to send my. I'm out next week. I'm in Branson, Missouri next week for a 13U baseball tournament. I'm actually going to a Yankees game on Thursday night, Kansas City. Nice. They're playing the Royals, and we get to see Jack Caglione. He just got called up, so that'd be sick.
Oh, he was a stud from. Was he Clemson or
Florida?
No, Florida
Gators. Yeah. Come on, man.
That's right. Yeah, sorry.
Jack Tawney.
Well, that'll be an important week for you to send in picks. I mean, obviously, you probably take Scotty number one at Travelers, but yeah, that's going to be a big one. Okay, that is the season-long bet. Let's look at the board.
Let's do it. I can't wait to get into this. All right, so let's just.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
at the top
just glaze over Scotty here.
I mean, I am very tempted to just say I want Scotty and Bryson, and then I'm done.
Wow.
I am just buying.
Wow. You want to know what else Billy said today? He said he thinks someone outside of the top 20 in the world's going to win.
Just because of the variance, just because it's so
yeah.
See, in the can I tell you the one You know, the one guy.
I'm not saying Billy's correct, by the way.
The one guy that would absolutely kill me to not have if I did that, though, is Straka. And I'm just going to skip to him real quick. We can go right back up to the top of the board. But the only guy in this field that I look at with as much conviction
got it
is Straka at the value at 50 to 1. Like, I mean, just automatic yes.
Okay.
But I'd probably be fine not having anyone else on the card.
I see what you're saying. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of names this week that, like, when I just did my card, it felt way too easy, and I don't like that.
All right, well, give it to us.
Well, let's start at the top. Wait, who's your first? So you like the first two guys. I'm not touching either one of those guys. I'm not touching Rory. I'm not touching Rom.
Nope.
Xander would be my first guy at 22 to 1. Do you want to talk about Colin or Ludwig at all, or Joaquin? Just won last week.
I mean, Lud showing some kind of back to the ball striking ways the last 2 weeks is interesting.
That's something for you.
But I don't think I'm that interested at a major for him, or at this major at this point just yet. No. Joaquin, I love Joaquin Niemann. I think he's an awesome player. I think he's a great talent, but the lack of major record for me says a lot. I know he just had a good he's already had a good year this year with the 8th at the PGA Championship, but that was his first top 10 at a major. I could see a top 10 for sure. Top 20 at plus money, absolutely. But to win, no, thank you.
Okay. Tommy Fleetwood. I feel like he's showing up on a lot of people's radar. It was a name that I definitely caught my eye here, just because when par becomes important, I feel like it's like a death by 1,000 cuts on a course like this, and he feels like the type of game that could win a tournament like this. And we're also getting him at like 45 to 1. I feel like any other week Tommy's played, we've seen him get down to like 22 to 1 to win these tournaments, sometimes even shorter than that. Am I off on that?
Well, maybe not for majors.
Yeah, I'm not talking about for majors.
Yeah, but
I feel like this course is kind of right up his alley, and
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that it's a good fit for him. I don't disagree that his numbers check out. I mean, he ranks well in my model on Bet the Number, but you're still asking Tommy Fleetwood, who's not closed the door on a PGA Tour event, to close the door at Oakmont and then beat.
It's not a tour. It's not a tour event.
That's true. Okay,
maybe there's something to that.
I'm out. I'm still out. The next one I pick up is before Straka is Shane, and I'm just a glutton. I'm a glutton for punishment, but
I wasn't on Tommy. His eyes, just my eyes caught him. But so my first two are Xander and Shane.
All right, so we're there on Shane. Mm-hmm. We got agreement on Shane. Again, with the putting thing, I do feel like that helps a guy like Lowry when you don't have to make it all. And he really didn't putt that bad at RBC Canadian. He lost a little bit off the tee, but he's not short off the tee. I wouldn't call him a mega bomber, but he's not short. And the irons and scrambling are just perennially pretty dang good for Shane Lowry. So, and then it's Sepp for me for all the reasons that we've been talking about Sepp all year. I think Sepp is ready to win a major. I think he's got the stones. I think he's got the demeanor when things are hard or when he gets dealt a bad break. Or he's got to go up against somebody scary like Scotty,
DB, look, that wasn't a name that jumped out to me when I did this, to be honest. But you talked me into it. He's going on my card.
I don't know how he doesn't jump out to you. I mean,
I just did it real quick, but like he's
over. It's because he's a bulldog, and I get it.
Probably, yeah.
Man, how far has the world gone on Brooks Koepka? Right? I mean, this guy.
Brooks Koepka, wait till you see what our defending champ here at Oakmont is going off at.
DJ, that's true.
I mean, dude, are you kidding me?
Well, it was 9 years ago, but yes, the DJ.
I know, but like, when was there ever I just couldn't imagine a time 5 years ago where Dustin was 170 to 1 to win a major championship.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of enticing, though, just to be like?
Honestly, it is. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of chatter on Cantlay. I want to ask you about him before we move past him. I mean, really good U.S. Open record. Disappointed at the PGA. I was all over him at the PGA. It was my first Cantlay experience of 2025, and it sucked. But played well in some signature events like the Heritage, Truist, Memorial, T12. That was another thing I think Ben On talked about, or maybe it was Michael Kim on X today talking about the benefit of playing. I think it was Ben On. The benefit of playing Memorial and like the rough is very similar, and get some reps out of that stuff.
Yeah,
he's got a good record there as well. Seems like a good spot for him. He's in good form. Is he in winning form? Is he going to finally win a major? Because he's not done it either. It feels like he should have a bunch of times, but he hasn't. I don't know. He's 55-1 in this range. He's in the 50s or longer. He's enticing to me a little bit, but I'm not there yet.
I'm not either. Kind of for all the same reasons you said. It's just, when is he gonna? It's been a while since Patrick Cantlay has won a tournament. Is he in winning form? The next, I am on Corey Connors though, right? Yeah. At 60-1. I think, give me a good driver of the golf ball. Tough greens. Hey, they're tough for everybody. That could be an equalizer for Corey. I just have a hard time believing he's going to be like outside the top 10 on Sunday. And I think at 60-1, he's worth a look.
Yeah, I like the top 10 number on Corey. He's just so solid through and through. And I do think the putting is, if you look at the putting, it's gotten better. It's not good, but it's gotten better. Do you know anything? Do you know what's wrong with Hideki?
No, but one of the guys on Golf Bet today picked him as for top Asian this week.
Okay. That's a bold play.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, watch Takumi Kanaya beat him. He's just,
I got to be honest. He lost me when he didn't say Siwoo Kim. I was like, that's what's wrong. Whatever you're saying.
I mean, the guy won the Century, and then he's not at a top 10.
When he wins, it's like they're like these dominating performances too. It's like, how does this guy not do this all the time? And he does do it all the time in the range, but it's weird. It's a weird deal. I don't know what's going on with him, man.
The irons have been very, very good. I mean, the Masters was pretty good. Truist was pretty good. But I will say he was one that I'm scrolling. As I'm scrolling, I'm like, I kind of like the 70 number. Like 70 for Hideki.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That feels like I would much rather have that, even though Ben Griffin is surging right now. But to win a major, no.
Ben Griffin said he would take 4 over par right now and run this week.
That's going to get it done. I did see that he said that.
Your guy, Ben Griffin.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, Ben and Dana finishing at 4 over. I mean, I think that's probably good for top 10, maybe. Definitely top 20. Do you think Sam Burns is hot, or is it kind of fraudulent?
Doesn't do it. I'm not touching it this week. Okay, you went right over a guy that caught my eye, Jordan Spieth.
Really?
Yeah.
The Adventures of Jordan Spieth, you think could do well at Oakmont?
Not the worst driver of the golf ball, Jordan Spieth.
Yeah,
underrated driver of the golf ball, and if he has a good week, that guy delivers. He's one of the heavier hitters of the golf ball on the tour. I mean, he's sneaky long. He always has been. But like flying under the radar, career Grand Slam talks over. That's done at the PGA. You're not hearing a lot about Spieth right now. 70-1 feels like a good number for me. And his name, I wrote him down. I like him this week.
Obviously, the short game will do him well here. Putter's been a little tough, but all right. I'd rather have Hideki there, but I get it. Right there after those guys are down a little bit.
Dude, there's a couple that I have right after him.
There's 3 at 100-1 that I like. Do you have any shorter than that?
No, I have the same. I have 2 at 100-1 that I like.
All right, who you got?
Keegan and Harris.
Those are 2 of mine. I got one more. I love Keegan and Harris this week.
You got, let me guess your other one. You got P. Reed as your other.
Yep. Those 3 at 100, all kind of, I was going to say they're all kind of big game hunters.
I love those numbers for those guys.
Is Keegan a big game hunter? I mean, I know he's a major winner, but that was a while ago. Right?
Yes, he is. He's a moment guy. Yes, 100%. 100%. Keegan's a big game hunter. He's built for moments.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I love all 3 of those at 100. That is if your boy Billy's like outside the top 20, whatever, these are kind of the names that I think.
He said outside the top 20, but then we asked him for a pick, and he said Corey Connors and fuck, who was the other? It was someone that's like, are they outside the top 20?
I mean, Connors probably borderline.
Yeah, it was Connors and
I thought you were about to say like
Connors and Keegan. That's who he took.
Yeah. You talked about Keegan having the heavy ball too. Yeah, and Reed's been sneaky. I mean, the dude could have won the Masters late on Sunday.
Yeah,
that would have
been all time.
Yeah,
you couldn't.
So those names
could have scripted that if he just swoops in and takes that.
Oh God, I really don't have any others. I mean, there are definitely names that I like, but to win, no. This is, I think, Oakmont. When you look at the past champions at Oakmont, look at the list of those names. They are studs. They are all legit names. Very, very little pretenders on that list. So if you've got these guys with these big numbers, even though I think the tempting thing in a tournament like this, when you start running models on bet the number, all that stuff, you can see guys pop. I mean, I've got a name like, what the hell, Thorbjorn. Like Taylor Pendrith pops nicely in my model. But and I like him. Could he flash and get a top 10? Absolutely. Is he going to win though? That's what you got to think about when you're building these outright cards. And I don't think that's likely at Oakmont.
I'm with you. But there's some nice, top 10, top 20 numbers out there, DB. I don't know if you've been looking at that.
Yeah, who are let's talk some top 20s. If you had to pick, normally what me and Pat do is we go 2 locks.
Yes.
You got to have 2 locks at plus money, and then a bomb at 4-1 or longer.
Okay, I got to call an audible real quick. My boys' practice just got canceled, and I got to go pick them up. It's pouring rain, but
drop your 2 locks. Drop your 2 locks in your bomb.
I'm giving you a bomb top. I might take him top 10 and top 20. Justin Rose this week.
Woo.
No form at all, but I just have mad respect for this guy's game in big situations and big time golf courses like that. And then I'm going to go Keegan, and same thing, 20 and 10 as well. I might bet Keegan each way this week. How about
Keegan
that?
was on my list too.
Yeah.
You got a mega bomb at top 20, 4-1.
Mega bomb.
Your boy Carson or Cam Young I keep going Carson Young. Your boy Cam Young's plus 450. That'll probably be a popular one.
How about Ryan Gerard?
I had that one down.
He's 350.
He's 450 on MGM.
Oh wow. Okay, well there we go.
By the way, I want to bring
my guy.
I want to bring your attention to one more guy, 5-1 on FanDuel, who's surging back. Max Gracerman's starting to find his game again.
Ooh, that is my guy.
He's starting to find it again. So I got
to run. I got kids and lightning.
See ya.
Love you guys. Sorry.
Peace. Matt Every, good guy. Good guy. Terrible golf handicapper. Hasn't done great on the handicapping front, but he's handsome and he shows up every week, unlike myself and Pat. And so that's all we can do. Looking at the top 20s. He mentioned too with Young and Gerard. Gracerman is my other one. I think Gracerman is sneaky, kind of coming back into form. Started off so hot, we were all like, "Holy crap!" The dude's leveled up, and then he kind of faded a bit. But now the ball striking's coming back. 22nd at Colonial, did well at the PGA. 22nd at Colonial, 25th at the Memorial. He's played in 4 majors. He's made 3 of 4 cuts with the T21 at the last U.S. Open he played in last year. So he can do it. He's already pretty much proven that. And a couple runner-ups on tour over the last summer. And I don't know, just a talented player, hits it far, hits it pretty straight, farther than average, straighter than average, and starting to trend again. So I like that for Max Gracerman at 5-1 on FanDuel. Be sure and shop these numbers. Couple locks for me. Matt gave you Rose and Keegan. I can't get down with the Rose play, but the Keegan play I already had written down. He's at plus 260. That's a little long for a lock, but I'll take it. A couple guys that we talked about or briefly hit on that I don't love to win, but I would love to have some exposure to. Joaquin Niemann at plus 120 and Tommy are both at plus 120. I think those are. I feel pretty good about those. So I would go with Neiman and Tommy Ladd at plus 120 for the locks. And then we gave you the bombs. What else do I have to tell you? Oh, yeah. I'm going to talk about the member guest real quick, try to throw Pat under the bus before I get out of here. But also, remember, if you try bet the number, you can also earn a shot at our Discord contest at the end of the year for a chance to win a weekend with me and Pat, playing some golf, having some drinks, eating some food. A little tomfoolery will also be involved. It could be an awesome opportunity for anybody. And our friends at Bet the Number are also just one of the best modeling sites, if not the best, we believe, in the golf business. In fact, so much so that myself and Pat have decided to join forces with Bet the Number, and we are now equity partners at Bet the Number. And we are working with their team who are working with PGA Tour players, around 10 or 12 of them. In fact, they've worked on 2 different Ryder Cup teams doing course analysis and player analysis. They get all of the information straight from the PGA Tour through a licensed ShotLink connection. So the data comes in live and it's legit data. And let me just say, they do a great job of filtering the data to take out the crap that they know you don't need. There are a lot of sites out there. Look at me when I'm talking to you people. There are a lot of sites out there with a lot of information that you don't need. You don't need it. You know why you don't need it? Well, don't take my word for it. Take the people I just mentioned who work with a dozen PGA Tour players, who've worked with the Ryder Cup, the U.S. Ryder Cup team. There are a lot of statistics. The PGA Tour collects over 400 statistics every single tournament. And BTN has access to all of them, and they can filter them a million different ways. But they choose to take out the ones that they think are stupid or worthless, and they don't add filters that you don't need. And they try to make it simple, and they try to make it signal and not noise in the data. So just trust me, you want these people in your corner. So try the monthly or annual memberships. If you do that, if you try a monthly or annual membership right now, or if you have in the last month, you're automatically entered into the drawing. And we're going to draw a name, and we're going to announce it on next week's show, that you will also get an entry into our Discord contest for a chance to win that weekend with me and Pat. Only about, I would say, 20 to 40 people get into that contest. And if you win it, you're getting the weekend with us. Awesome opportunity just to try bet the number for a month, or if you just want to go ahead and commit to the year, that's awesome. And listen, we want your feedback. DM us on X or Twitter. DM us on Instagram. Email us, info@tourjunkies.com. Get in the Discord. We have a bet the number chat in the Discord. Get in the Discord. Give us feedback for real. You're not going to hurt our feelings. Hey guys, I wish you had this. I wish the site did this, or I love this part. Lean into that. We got a matchup analyzer, a head-to-head matchup analyzer is fantastic. Live tournament tracking is awesome. Just, we're now on the team with Bet the Number. So we want the feedback. It'll be good. All right. Oh, member guest. Another year goes by with nothing to show for the member guest. I don't know where to start. Tony, if you have any questions or whatever, otherwise I'll just give you a quick recap. We did so many things right. It's easy to sit there and go, God, we screwed this up. We screwed that up. Let me tell you, this was the fifth time we played in my member guest at Champions Retreat. Every other time we have been hungover the first day and hungover the second day. And me and Pat have gotten off to slow starts as a result. It's been tough. This year we committed. We said the first night we're staying at my house. We're going to be good boys. We're going to not be hungover. We're going to drink in moderation, which we did. We're going to go to bed early. We were in the bed. I was asleep by 10:15 the first night. It was wonderful. Woke up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Made Pat do the ice bath for his face. We had coffee, good breakfast. We stretched. It was fantastic. The whole thing was great. We felt amazing. What happened the first day? Hot start. We literally hammered our first opponents, maxed them out. Fantastic news. Fast forward, and I played pretty well those first 2 matches. Pat played okay. I played pretty well. The third match of the day, third 9-hole match of the day, I don't know what happened. I got really hot and irritable and bugs and sunburned, and I floundered, and Pat held us together. He held us together. We ended up pushing the match, which was okay. And by the end of day one, we were tied for the lead with 2 other teams in our flight, trying to make the shootout for the first time. We go to bed early. I was in bed by, I think, 10:15 that night. No later than 10:30. Did not drink a lot. I don't think I even had a drink at all. Went home, got up, ice face bath again. Great coffee, great breakfast, stretched. Saturday, we're playing the 2 teams that we're tied with. We control our own destiny. And the first team we played, we did not play bad. I played good again. I played well that match. And they had witchcraft or something. They had something going on. And I will say this, we did not get sandbagged, which is nice. In years past, we've been sandbagged. We did not get sandbagged. I think these people were there. I think their handicaps were actually legit. They just played slightly above the handicap, and we end up losing that one. And then we were kind of down, and then the last match we needed to win big, and we got down a little bit early, and then it went south, and we ended up not even coming close. Had a chance, didn't come close, and Pat just completely lost it on the last night. He ejection button gone, just completely lost it on the last night. I was by myself, except it didn't feel like I was by myself because he was raging in the golf cart next to me for the whole 9 holes, being a jerk to the 2 guys we were playing with who were very nice. Yes, Tony.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Was he raging as in Pat being crankety old Pat, or was he raging, hit the eject button on his golf game?
So it all started the first match on Saturday, when he's going to be mad at me for doing this, but I'm going to do it. The first match on Saturday, we're like 4 holes in, we're down 1, and he's getting a stroke on this hole. It's a par 5. And all 4 of us, 3 of the 4 of us, except for Pat, were making an absolute mess of this hole. I was, now mind you, on this 9, I shot a 40, including the score that I took on this hole, which was a triple. I made an 8 on this par 5, and I still shot a 40, which I'm an 8.5 handicap. I shot my number. The other 2 players on the other team, well, one guy was like me. He was basically in his pocket. He was done. I was done. Their other guy was whacking it all over the place, had to take a drop. Pat hits his drive in the fairway, dead middle. Hits his second shot in the fairway, dead middle. He's got 70 yards in. 70 yards to the hole for his 3rd shot into a par 5. Meanwhile, I'm in my pocket. The other guy's in his pocket. And the other player they have is like lying. I think he's lying 6 on the green, or lying 5 on the green. All Pat has to do is hit a 74-yard chip shot onto this big green, 3-putt, and we win the hole. And now we square it up. He blades one. Now he's lying 5. Okay. Still his turn. Knowing he's getting a shot, and his ball ends up in a sprinkler head in the rough right before the ball rolls into the water. Well, he goes to drop from the sprinkler head, and he drops it in the fairway. And the guy that we're playing against, who's a nice guy, I know him, great guy, 60-year-old guy, very competitive, goes, he's from New York too, so he don't give a shit. He goes, Pat, what are you doing? You can't do that. You can't do that, Pat. You can't improve your lie. You improve your lie. You're in the fairway. You're supposed to be in the rough. That's my best in New York. Pat's like, huh, what? Huh? Okay, whatever. But you could see it, dude. It was like, and he was raging that he called him out on that. Did Pat do that on purpose? Absolutely not. He did not. He was not doing it on purpose. He just wasn't thinking about it. He's just like, oh, yeah, but, and if we were playing a casual match, I would not have said anything. I don't even know if I would have thought about it. But he was right. The guy was right. So Pat picks his ball up. Now he didn't say like, oh, that's a penalty. He just said, put it in the rough. So Pat puts it in the rough, chips up 2 putts. We lose the hole. Pat makes a what did he make? He made like a 8, net 7, and the guy made a 6 or something. No. We pushed. The guy made a 7. We pushed, even though he was a 75 yards out on a stroke hole. So then we're walking off the green, and I'm still, trying to keep it positive, and I look at Lou, the guy, the older guy. I'm like, man, what a pillow fight that one was. Like, that was brutal. And Pat just doesn't even look at him. Lou's standing right here next to him, and he is raging. I can see it, dude. I can see it. And he hasn't said a word since the thing happened. He didn't say anything. And I said, man, what a pillow fight. And Lou's like, yeah, that was brutal. We got to race that one. And Pat just goes, this is exactly how he said it. He goes, yeah, good hole, guys. Great win. But he never looks at him. He doesn't look at him. He's looking straight ahead, walking to his golf cart, just raging.
Oh.
I get in the cart and I go, Pat, pull it together. Pull it together. You're pre-pissed, and you're now and you're steaming. He's like, I'm not pre-pissed. Why are you saying that? I didn't do anything. So then we're like going at it in the golf cart. I'm like, no, we can't. They can't see us do this. We've held it together. We've done what we got to do. We got to we got to do this. And we never really recovered.
You didn't rebound from it. You did that, but that wasn't the spark.
It was definitely not a spark. Now I will say we did play well, but they got up and down out of some miraculous places to like push holes to keep us from winning holes. And we ended up losing by a hole. We lost one down. And that was kind of the thing that hurt us. So anyway, great event. We had a good time. We made up, and everybody was fine, and we had a great time Saturday night. It was all good. But yeah.
Always next year, right?
I guess. Taking applications.
Oh.
If anybody would pay for the whole weekend in full, I would take you on. It's not cheap. If you would pay for the whole weekend, like drinks and cabin included, if you want to do that, if you got it and you want to come down, I might consider that. Just because it's getting more expensive. They keep raising the prices. It's a great event. Well, fun. Food was amazing. The gifts, the tea gifts were amazing. But I'm starting to say, like, look, hey, if I need a sugar daddy to come play with me at the member guest, I will take the sugar daddy. If anybody wants to just slide in my DMs and sugar daddy me up for next year's member guest, we'll play. Let me know. On that note, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Sorry it's just me. I'm sure a lot of you are disappointed or you haven't even gotten this far. I'll see you in the Discord on Wednesday night. Have a great week. Bend over your bookie. See ya. Tour Junkies featuring David Barnett is not an affiliate of CWM LLC. Opinions expressed by the host or guests do not reflect those of CWM LLC. CWM LLC does not endorse gambling or the entities promoted by the Tour Junkies podcast. David is a non-registered representative of CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.